Beginning in an easy seated position on the blanket, we will start with 2 pranayama breathing exercises. First is Nadi Shodan. Take your right hand out, tuck your pointer and your middle finger into your thumb crease. Plug the right nostril with your thumb as you inhale through the left nostril for 4 seconds. At the top, plug the left nostril with your 4th finger and exhale for 4 seconds out the right nostril. At the bottom, inhale 4 seconds through the right nostril. At the top, plug the right nostril with your thumb, exhale 4 seconds out the left. That makes 1 round, so continue doing this at your own pace as you inhale and exhale for 4 seconds each. Very gentle pause at the top and the bottom of the inhales and the exhales. Make sure that your elbow of your right arm is about 45 degrees. You don't want your elbow tucked into your body, as that can restrict the movement of your lungs on the right side. And just keep the rest of your body relaxed. When you're inhaling, try and bring the air as low and deep into the abdominal cavity as possible, bringing the air down into the lower part of your lungs, and then as you exhale, squeezing out the air starting from that lower cavity. Trying to keep the inhales and the exhales of equal time length. And then finishing your final round through an exhale through the left nostril. And then gently bringing your right hand down to match your left, resting on the knee. Now for a quick cleansing breath, inhale deeply through the nose and sigh out the mouth. The next breath work is Ashwini Mudra. We're going to inhale deeply through the nose at the top, holding the breath as we pulse our anal sphincter upwards towards the head, and pulsing 20 pulses at a very steady rhythmic beat, and then slowly exhaling through the nose. That is 1 round. Inhaling deeply through the nose at the top, holding the breath as we pulse the anal sphincter upwards. So we're pulsing the energy up our spine. And the motion I'm making with my hand is the anal sphincter motion. So do not do this with your hand. This is a demonstration of the anal sphincter. And at the top of 20 pulses, slowly exhaling the breath out. And then inhaling again fully through the nose at the top, holding the breath while you pulse the anal sphincter, 20 pulses. Now, if 20 pulses is too many to start off with, you can do less. You don't want to be holding your breath to a point where it's too uncomfortable. Just a slight bit of tension is what you're looking for. 1 more round as we inhale deeply through the nose at the top, holding the breath while we gently and rhythmically pulse the anal sphincter, bringing that pulsing energy up our spine towards the crown of the head. Our breath is held in, and once we're finished, pulsing stops and slowly exhale through the nose. Now let's finish with 2 cleansing breaths. Deep inhale through the nose. At the top, sighing out through the mouth. 1 more time, deep inhale through the nose. At the top, exhale through the mouth. Now, letting your breath come back to its natural state, in and out through the nose, no tension. Just sit here for a moment as you set your intention for the rest of this sequence, letting the energies that we just created through the pranayama practice settle in our body, and just observing the natural flow of respiration coming in and out of the nose. The rest of this practice, try and breathe through your nose only, keeping your mouth closed. Now sealing your intention in as we slowly, mentally begin to shift towards the warming poses of this sequence. Now slowly begin to come out of your seated position and move the folded blanket out of the way. We're going to start with child's pose. So bringing your knees together, slowly drape your upper body over top of your legs, extending your arms forward and drawing your tailbone down. Now, if you have your knees together, this is going to create more of a stretch in the lower back. Another version you can do is spread your knees apart so that you fold your upper body in between your legs. This is going to get more into the hips, so choose either variation. Just spending a couple more breaths here. Let the entire body relax, let your forehead melt into the ground. No tension anywhere. Breathing very gently in and out through the nose, making the inhales and the exhales of equal length. Now slowly starting to come up into tabletop position for cat-cow, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. As you inhale, you're going to curl your back slowly, starting from the tailbone as you look up, and exhale, again starting from the tailbone, curling your back up as you tuck your chin. Inhale, up, exhale, down. You want the movement on both directions to start from the base of your spine. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling, bringing your chest forward, looking up, and exhaling, pressing into your palms, tucking your chin. Inhaling up, and exhaling, pressing your back up, tucking your chin. Now, if you want a little bit more, you can change your hand position. So rotate your hands so your middle fingers are pointing back towards you. And this is going to give you a little bit of a different stretch in your wrists. Be really gentle. This can be a very intense position if your wrists are tight. And if that doesn't work for you, just keep the regular hand position. Now, getting ready for the next pose, grab the folded blanket and place it in the middle of your mat, as we will be sitting on the blanket for the next pose, which is cow's head, Gomukhasana. Starting on the right side, you're going to bend your left knee at the bottom and bring your right leg over top of the left. And then for the hand position, you're going to stretch your right hand up and your left hand will come around the back and you will clasp hands behind your back. This is what it looks like on the back side. Now you want to relax your bottom shoulder down as you pull up with your top arm. And if you aren't able to get that grip yet, you can just grip the back of your shirt or you can use a strap. That works well as well. Now slowly letting go, rolling the shoulders a couple times forward and back. We're going to repeat this on the other side. Now switching sides, right leg will be on the bottom, fold the left leg over top, and your left arm will go above and back, and the right arm will go below, clasping both hands behind your back, relaxing the bottom shoulder as you pull up with the top arm. Bringing your chest forward, looking up just slightly. Breathing in and out through your nose. Just a couple more breaths. And then slowly release, rolling your shoulders forward and back a couple times, and releasing the leg position. And moving the blanket out of the way, coming to stand at the top of the mat. Now we'll be doing 2 rounds of very slow sun salutation A's. Begin raising your arms above your head, palms touch, look up, slight back bend, and slowly bending forward, bending into the knees. Come into a nice forward fold. We're going to spend a couple breaths here so you can grab your opposite elbows and just let yourself hang. You can swing or sway from side to side, let your head dangle. Nice bend in the knees. Breathing in and out through your nose. Slowly come for a half lift, plant your hands, stepping back and coming down onto your knees into a baby cobra. Keeping your elbows tucked in, chest forward, looking up slightly, pressing into the tops of your feet and your pelvis for stability. And then very slowly pushing back into a downward dog position. Keeping a micro bend in your knees. You want to push the mat away with your feet and your hands. So imagine that your hands and your feet are ripping the mat in two, pushing in opposite directions, keeping your pelvis nice and tucked, and just let your head relax and dangle. Breathing in and out through your nose. Now looking forward, gently step forward, half lift, and exhale into a nice gentle forward fold. We'll hang out here for a couple breaths. You can grab the elbows again. Now slowly coming up, arms above your head, reach up, look up, and exhale, arms down by your side. Now the other side, inhaling, arms above your head, palms touch, look up, slight back bend, and forward fold, bending deeply into your knees. This time you can grab your toes with your peace fingers and just gently pull yourself down, letting your neck relax fully. Breathing in and out through your nose. Now halfway lift, coming up, plant your hands, stepping back, and gently lowering down onto your knees, coming up again for a baby cobra. Elbows in, chest forward, gently look up, rooting down through your pelvis and the tops of your feet. Holding here for one more breath. And gently pushing back again into a downward dog. Keeping your back nice and flat, pelvis tucked. Slight micro bend in the knees. Neck is nice and relaxed. And remember to breathe in and out through the nose. Now gently walking forward, half lift. And coming into a nice gentle forward fold again, knees nicely bent. This time you can step on your palms, so the backs of your hand are going to touch the floor, And you're going to bring your toes to the crease of your wrist, stepping on the front of your palms. And then let your elbows come out to the side as you bend yourself down, pulling deeper into this forward fold. Remembering to breathe. And gently release the grip, halfway lift, and then slowly come up, palms above the head, and exhale, arms by your side. Now a very slow sun salutation B, coming into a chair pose, reaching your arms up, slight bend in your knees, looking down a few feet in front of you, and then exhale, come into a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, and exhale, plant your hands, step back, knees down, into a baby cobra. Chest comes forward, gently looking up, and then slowly coming into a downward dog. Now you're going to raise your right foot and step it forward, and we're going to come up into a warrior one pose. So hips are both squared to the front, palms come up, gaze is forward, gentle bend in your front knee. Remembering to breathe. And exhale, coming down, plant your hands, step your right foot back. Now left foot steps forward, coming back into warrior one on the left side. Arms raise above your head and stretch up. Gentle bend into your left knee. Hips are squared to the front, meaning both hips are pointing forward. Gaze is forward. Breathing in and out through the nose. And bringing your hands down, stepping your foot back, coming down onto your knees, and up again for a baby cobra. Elbows in, chest forward, rooting down through your pelvis and the tops of your feet. Now we're going to slowly press back up into a downward dog and prepare to come into a dolphin pose, which is essentially downward dog, but from our forearms. And so you're going to bend down onto your forearms, release your neck back down. You might need to take a couple more steps forward with your feet and just hold here for a couple breaths. This is going to get more into the upper back, your shoulder area. So keep pressing that same motion, forearms forward, feet back, and then coming back into a downward dog. Raise your right foot up high and swing it through for a pigeon pose on the right hand side. Now you want to make sure your back leg is nice and straight behind you. And you're going to stretch up first, bringing your chest forward, gentle gaze up, and then coming down onto your forearms. We're going to be in pigeon here for quite a few breaths on both sides. So just gently come down wherever feels comfortable. Maybe you just stay on your forearms, or you can come all the way down, resting on the backs of your hands. If you have the blanket nearby, you can also place the blanket underneath your forehead, which is a nice support. Wherever you're at, just relax into the pose. So just notice if you're holding any tension in the hips, the shoulders, the neck. Bring your awareness to that tension and try and let it go. Just let the body become heavy as it drapes over that right leg and relaxes on the floor. Remembering to breathe Nice and deeply here, in and out through the nose, making the inhales and the exhales of equal length. Just a couple more breaths here. And then very gently start to push yourself back up into a downward dog. Maybe you pedal your legs out a couple times. Preparing to go on the left side, raising the left leg up and through for pigeon on the left-hand side. Now setting up, make sure your back leg is nice and straight behind you. Bringing your chest forward, stretching up, gentle gaze up. And then coming down onto your forearms or coming all the way down, resting on the backs of your hands or using a support underneath your forehead. Preparing to spend a few more breaths in this pigeon pose. So make sure your alignment is good. And then just fully surrender to the pose. So scanning the body, noticing any areas where you may be holding, and just letting those areas go. Breathing deeply in and out through the nostrils. Spending a few more breaths in this position. Just a couple more breaths. And slowly coming out, you're going to bring your right leg around as we prepare for a seated forward fold, moving the flesh out of the back of your buttocks, tilting the pelvis forward slightly, reaching up first with your skull, and then gently folding forward, grabbing a hold of your big toes with your peace fingers. You want to try and keep your back as flat as possible. So instead of rounding forward into this forward fold, we want to keep our back nice and flat and keep your gaze towards your feet. That's going to help you maintain that stability in the back. And use your arms to pull yourself gently forward. So you want to pull your skull gently towards your feet. And knees can also be slightly bent in this position if you need that to get a hold of your feet. Remembering to breathe deeply in and out through the nose. Pulling yourself a little deeper now that you're a little bit more warmed up. And gently letting go of the grip, coming back up. We're going to come laying flat on our back with our knees bent for bridge pose. So walk your feet as close to your butt as possible. Make sure that there's not a large gap between your knees. Arms are alongside your body with your palms down. And then you're going to press into your feet as you lift your hips up, keeping your chin tucked, looking down the center line of your body. Make sure your knees do not jet out. Imagine you're squeezing an imaginary block in between your knees. And then if you want a little more, you're going to shuffle your arms underneath you and clasp your hands together underneath and press your hands down into the mat. And this is going to push your hips just slightly higher up. Remembering to breathe in and out through the nose. And gently coming back down, straighten the legs out. Moving into the next pose, wind relieving pose, starting on the right side. Bend your right knee up, clasp your hands just underneath the knee, and start pulling your knee in towards your armpit. Now every time you exhale, you're going to pull in a little bit deeper, and every time you inhale, your belly is going to push your knee just slightly away. So moving deeper and deeper the longer we hold this pose. Keeping your left leg nice and straight, slightly flex the left foot, and slowly release the right leg down. Left leg comes up, interlace your hands, opposite grip, just underneath the left knee, and pulling the left knee in towards the left armpit. Again, going a little bit deeper with each breath. A slight pinching sensation in the hip is normal. Holding just a couple more breaths. And gently release your grip, letting the leg fall back down. Now bringing both knees up, you're going to try to grab the opposite elbows over top of the knees. Keeping your chin nice and tucked, looking down the center of your body. You now want to pull your knees in as you relax your spine down to the ground. So gently push the tailbone so that it's going in the direction of the mat. And keeping your chin nice and tucked, basically giving yourself a nice firm bear hug. Remembering to breathe in and out through the nose. Couple more breaths. And gently release, let everything come down as everything starts to flush back out. Now moving into our second final posture, happy baby pose, bending your knees into your chest, grab the insides of your feet, keeping your knees nicely bent, and just kind of taking this pose wherever feels right for you today. Maybe you're rocking from side to side, or just staying stationary. This is a very relaxing pose. It's a slight inversion. Just preparing your body for the next pose of Shavasana. Maybe bending into one knee as you straighten the other leg, and vice versa. Remembering to breathe. Just a couple more breaths here. And then slowly release that grip. And coming into our final pose of Shavasana, letting the entire body relax on the mat. Feet are slightly flopped open from side to side, arms along your side, palms facing up. Now just doing a full body scan. So I'm going to guide you through this, starting from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. We're going to go part by part, and anytime you feel any tension, just try and mentally relax that area. Another trick to relax a part is to just, for a few seconds, contract that area very tightly and then totally let it relax. So starting with the top of the head, scanning the entire scalp area, moving through the top of the head into the brain, going all the way down the brain from the top down to the neck, and then onto the forehead, the eyebrows, the space in between the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the jaw, moving into the neck and the shoulders, the upper arms, the lower arms, the wrists, and the hands, and each finger. Moving back to the neck area, going down the torso, the chest, the abdomen, the hips, the pelvic area, and then the tops of the legs, the knees, the bottom of the legs, the ankles, the feet, and the toes. Scanning the entire body for any areas of tension that you can let go. Now just letting your breath come to its natural pace, whatever that may be, just letting it happen naturally. Focusing on the area of your nostrils. Try and feel each breath as it naturally comes in and naturally goes out. Naturally comes in, it will be a bit cooler. As it naturally goes out, notice the air is a bit warmer. And just falling into this rhythm of observing the breath as your body lays very heavy and featherless on the floor. Staying here in complete relaxation. I will let you know when it's time to come out. Now gently bringing some awareness back to the breath as you deepen the inhales and the exhales, starting to move the extremities, so the hands and the feet, gently bending your knees. Maybe you bring them into your chest for a small squeeze, rolling on the lower back, doing a couple circles. And when you're ready, rolling onto the right hand side, just letting your spine readjust. Then slowly using your left hand, pushing yourself up into an easy seated position, sitting on the blanket if necessary. And we will close this sequence out with 3 Oms. But first, a cleansing breath, inhaling deeply through the nose Exhale through the mouth. And then inhaling to Om. Namaste.